We've made it to week 2 of the NFL season. The Patriots taking on the Miami Dolphins in a Sunday night football matchup here at Gillette Stadium. I'm Meredith Gorman, joined by our Nesson Patriots beat reporters Dakota, Randall, and Zack. Thanks for joining me, guys. And when we look at the offensive side of the ball, what are the keys that you'll most be looking for tonight?
Something I'm going to be looking for is just how the Patriots receiver group looks in this game. The Patriots elevated Jalen Reagor from their practice squad for this game, which probably says that either Devontae Parker is not going to play or he's going to be limited in some way. You have to imagine if they had their full collection of wideouts, they probably would not have made that move. So going to be curious to see whether someone like Juju Smith-Schuster can have a bigger impact in this game than he did in week 1. Obviously, a lot of talk this week about his usage in that game, the fact that he was not on the field for the Patriots, kind of last gasp, final drive. Maybe that's something where they were sort of working him into the rotation a little bit slowly, or maybe that was just a pure coach's decision about where they see him on this team. So I think it would be encouraging from a Patriots perspective if you see a little bit of a larger role from Juju Smith-Schuster in this game, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, and for me, one more point on the receivers. I think, one thing I'm looking for is for them to be a little bit more crisp in this game. I mean, I think we all were encouraged by how it looked in that game, but I still think some of the issues we saw last season did crop up at times. I think Mario Douglas, Kendrick Bourne, Juju Smith-Schuster, all had issues with running the wrong routes. Spacing was an issue at times, including on that pick six.
Saw a couple drops too.
Yeah, a couple drops. So I think just a little bit more crisp, but again, that's stuff you would expect in week 1. But for me, I'm really looking at the running game. I think a lot of people expect the Dolphins to have a good defense this season. I think the talent on that side of the ball is a little overrated, but Vic Fangio, I do not think is overrated as a defensive coordinator. I think he is a real difference maker, but I don't think they're quite there yet. And I think one of the big issues that they're going to struggle with, and we saw it in week 1, is defending the run. They gave up over 240 yards to the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think that's a good sign for the Patriots with Ramondre Stevenson, with Ezekiel Elliott. I think even if the Patriots are undermanned on the offensive line, I guess it depends how undermanned they are, but even if they are missing Trent Brown, I think the Patriots have a good chance of running the ball successfully tonight. And obviously it starts with Ramondre Stevenson. He wasn't great in week 1, it wasn't bad, but I think this could be a big night for him and Ezekiel Elliott.
And it does sound like the Patriots will most likely have Michael Wenu, their starting right guard, back in this game. Probably their best overall offensive lineman. That's certainly what you want to see from a Patriots perspective, going up against a team in the Dolphins that allowed more rushing yards than anybody in the NFL in week 1.
Yeah, earlier in the week when the Patriots injury report initially came out, it looked like the offensive line was super banged up, an ominous sign ahead of this game.
It may still be. Yeah.
All right, so we'll look at the defense here. Obviously, the Patriots looking to bounce back after that Eagles loss last week, but what do you think they'll need to do to stop this Dolphins offense?
Well, you mentioned the injury report. One big name on there was Jonathan Jones, Patriots veteran cornerback, did not practice Friday, is dealing with an ankle injury. Around the NFL, there aren't many defensive players, cornerbacks, that have been able to defend Tyreek Hill as well as Jonathan Jones has over the years. It hasn't been a kind of straight-up man-to-man type thing. He has had safety help over the top, but if you take him out of the equation for this game, you're putting a lot of pressure on Christian Gonzalez. I don't think there's already going to be a lot of pressure on him in this game because Miami does have a very, very good number 2 receiver in Jalen Waddle, but you probably see a larger role for someone like Marcus Jones. Maybe we see more Miles Bryant outside. Once you get down toward those lower reaches of the depth chart, things get a little bit shaky, especially against an offense that's this talented. It is worth noting that the Patriots were very undermanned at cornerback when the Dolphins came here late last season, but that was a game where they had Teddy Bridgewater and Skylar Thompson at quarterback, not Tua Tagovailoa, who had one of the better week 1 performances of anybody in the league.
Yeah, and I think also, to that point, the Patriots, like any team, they want to marry a good pass rush with good coverage, and I think getting a good pass rush against Tua Tagovailoa would really help the Patriots with their coverage, regardless of who's at cornerback. If Jonathan Jones can play, if he can't, the Patriots are going to need to get pressure on Tua, I think, to have a chance of defending the Dolphins receivers in this game. But for me, one area I want to look at in this game, the second level, the linebackers. I thought, overall the linebacking play was really good in week 1 against the Eagles. However, for as talented and fast as that offense is, including with Jalen Hurts, I don't think it was all that challenging for the Patriots linebackers. The Eagles didn't really do anything all that exotic. Maybe they were, keeping some things close to the chest. But I think, this is the kind of game that will really test the speed the Patriots have at linebacker, whether someone like Mack Wilson has improved with pass coverage, whether Jelani Tavai can keep up with some of these more faster offensive weapons that the Dolphins have. I just think, with all the motion that the Dolphins do on offense, all the speed they have, all the exotic looks that Mike McDaniel gives you, I think this could be a challenging game for the linebackers, but one where, by the end we could be able to say, hey, this linebacking group led by Juwan Bentley is much better than we thought, or we could say it's kind of the same old story.
Yeah, this is certainly going to be a litmus test for that group. I think you came out of week one, you saying this defense does seem to have more speed, more playmaking ability than they've had in recent years. Yeah. That's been a problem for the last couple of seasons, but there aren't many faster teams in the NFL than this Dolphins one.
I do think this could be an interesting game for Marte Mapu,
yeah.
Either at safety or on outside linebacker, wherever they want to put him. Only played 9 snaps in the opener, but I think his speed and playmaking ability, could be a difference maker in this game if he plays a lot.
Very unique matchup piece for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the AFC East has completely taken a shift in the last 7 days with the Aaron Rodgers injury with the Jets. Patriots' first game against a division rival tonight. We'll get our first look at the team with some interdivisional play, but thank you so much for joining me, guys, and kickoff is just a little bit away from now.